Hey everyone, Chang here and welcome to my channel. This is the bare minimum algebra series. In the previous video, I talked about plotting points. We're going to build on that. Now we're going to use that to plot lines on a graph. Fairly simple. Once again, this is all going to be just step by step. Do this and you will get the answer. All right, so there is 4 steps to plotting lines on a graph. The first one is to solve for y. For those of you guys who aren't sure, solve for y is basically you're given an equation, usually a linear equation if they want you to draw a graph of a line. And that means that all you have to do is isolate y on one side and everything else on the other, right? That just makes our lives a lot easier, and building that skill, you can solve it in a lot of different ways, right? And it's useful in the future. So definitely do that. The second thing is to find 2 points. This is where it can get a little muddled. Basically what it means is you pick some point for x, some y or x coordinate, whatever you want, right? And then after you plug that in, you solve for its respective y coordinate. So whatever x you pick, there is one, usually, y coordinate, right, that correspond to that x coordinate. So we're going to go over that in the example if you're not sure, but basically what you're going to do is you're going to pick 2 x's, 2 different x coordinate, and you're going to solve for the 2 different y coordinate so that now you have 2 points, right? With the 2 points, you're just going to plot them on the graph. If you are not sure how that works, please watch the previous video because that was the whole point. Get it? All right. And then lastly, after you got the 2 points, draw the line through the both points, and then basically you would have your line on the graph, and then you are done. So fairly simple, but let's look at it in the wild and how you would actually use each and every one of these steps so that it can look even more simple. All right, let's look at the first example. So normally you would get something like this, right? It's not worked out all nicely. You would love for it to be, and if it is, great, congratulations, but most likely not. So first step, we're trying to solve for y. Basically means that we just isolate y and everything else is on the other. You can move the x and the 1 to the other side and get rid of the negative y, which is great. That works perfectly. I'm lazy, and I've noticed through experience, and then hopefully you guys can see it. If not, that's entirely fine, right? If I could just bring the y to the other side, everything is already solved. So all I have to do is I'm just going to plus y here because it's a minus y. And what I do to one side, I must do to the other. This goes away, and what I have left over is x plus 1 equals y. Okay, which is great. Y is on one side, everything else is on the other. I don't like the way it's formatted, so I'm just going to rewrite it. It's the same thing, y equals x plus 1. So, in case you guys are confused, these guys are exactly the same thing. Okay, now, the next step is to find 2 points. So basically, any 2 points, all you have to do is pick one specific x, plug it in, get their y coordinate. And pick another specific x, plug it in, and get another y coordinate. So these are the one I'm picking. You can pick any one you want. If you are ones who love to torture yourself, who love pain, what is that word? A sadist? Definitely pick some complicated number. That's entirely fine. Me, not so much. I am lazy. I would love to pick very easy numbers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick for x as 0, because usually you don't need to do anything with 0. 0 plus 1 is just 1. So that means my y is equal to 1. That's one of the points already. And of course, I'm going to pick the next best number that is as simple as possible. Let's try 1. And so if I plug in x as 1, right, that's 1 plus 1 equals 2. So that means my y coordinate is 2. There it is. Step 2 complete. Now I have both of these points that I am going to plot on a graph. So let's just draw a very simple x and y axis. This is my origin right here. The first one is going to be 0, which means I'm not moving anywhere for the x coordinate. And it's going to be y as 1. So this is my first point. And the second one is going to be 1 on the x coordinate, and 2. So this is 1, 2. So right here is my second point. Hopefully you guys can see that on camera. All right, and then all I have to do now that I plot these 2 points, the final step is just to draw a line between these, or intersecting these 2 points, right? You probably can draw a better line than I can. And there you go. That is your line for the graph. So let's look at another example. I bit my tongue there. Another example. All right, so let's look at our second example. 2x plus y equals 4. First step, we want to isolate y just because it makes our lives easier. Here's y. It's great. It's positive. That's what we want. We don't like the 2x on this side. We're going to move it to the other. So 2x is technically positive. We're going to have to subtract, which is the opposite. We do it to one side. We do it to the other. This goes away. Now what we have is going to be y equals negative 2x plus 4. Now, I'm writing it like this because in the future, hopefully you guys will see, or you guys already know, right? This is basically our slope-intercept form. It's the standard common format, right? If you left it as 4 minus 2x, perfectly valid. So, y equals negative 2x plus 4. Now, the second step is to basically get 2 points. Once again, I'm lazy. I'm going to try to choose the easiest number I can think of. It doesn't mean that you always have to choose these numbers, right? I just choose it because they're easy numbers. So, of course, the first easy number is 0 because you don't do anything, right? Negative 2 times 0 is just 0, right? So what the y-coordinate is 4, right? The second one, I would usually choose 1, and that's going to be negative 2 plus 4, which is 2. There you go, 2 points. Okay, we have our graph, our y-axis, our x-axis. We have our origin right there. The first one is 0. So all we have to do is count the y-coordinate now. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. So right here is our first point, right? The second one is going to be 1, and it's going to be 1, 2. So here is our second point, right? And just like that, we have our 2 points plotted, which is the third step, right? And the fourth step is to draw a line that crosses these two, which I'm going to try right there. Boom. That's it. All right, so there you have it. Those are the 4 steps on how you would draw a line or plot a line on a graph. Now, I don't know if creating all these different cases and different steps are productive or counterproductive, but I am having fun and hopefully you guys are as well. Now, once again, 4 steps, fairly simple, fairly easy. The first one is whatever equation they give you, usually linear, hopefully. If not, they're kind of a jerk if they're asking you to plot a line with a nonlinear equation. So assume it's linear, solve for y. All right, it will open up wide ranges of avenue in the future as you build up your skills. If not, it's still just a lot easier, right? Because you can just plug in x and then get the y coordinate. So that moves us to our second step. Second step, pick any 2 numbers for x. That will give you 2 points after you plug it in and you get the y coordinate for them. In this video, once again, I chose 0 and 1 because I'm lazy and I love using very simple number. You don't have to use those. You can use any number you want. Please keep that in mind. All right, so you find those 2 points, create those 2 points, whatever words you want to use. Then you plot those 2 points for step 3. After you plot those 2 points, you draw a line through it for step 4, and there you go. You have just plotted a line on a graph. Anyways, hopefully that was simple. Thank you for watching this video. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. I will see you in the next video.